So, Grand Admiral Thrawn, no preamble necessary. How disappointed were you?
To paraphrase the author Terry Pratchett, um, to be any more disappointed would have required special training. I had sent a meme to our group chat about the character of Thrawn, and it's pictures of Thrawn from the various iterations, and next to it is a board game, and it shows Thrawn from the original Timothy Zahn novels from the 90s, and it's got the 3D chessboard, and then it works its way down to tic-tac-toe in the current show. And that couldn't be more true. Wildly disappointed. This is waiting all year for Christmas morning, and your parents have promised you the best Christmas ever, and you get socks. Dave gave us socks. One of the finest expanded universe characters ever created, but we have been gradually dumbing him down. I was not completely upset about his appearance in Rebels. Again, it was not the Thrawn we knew. I, like a lot of people, I did the deal with the devil, right? I accepted it because I wanted him to be in the canonical universe. So here we've got Dad Bod Thrawn, who makes really poor decisions about everything and then acts like it's all going according to plan. And that's not Thrawn. He doesn't look like Thrawn. He doesn't act like Thrawn. Take one of my favorite characters of all time in Star Wars and you just make a crappy caricature of him. And everybody's like, oh my God, it's so amazing. All the shills again out there shoveling for Disney. And it's just like, this is not amazing at all, period. End of sentence.
Lars Mikkelsen did not capture Thrawn's physical presence. And Lucasfilm makeup, costumes, special effects teams did him no favors, but physically not Thrawn, and yet the physical representation was the best part of the character. Grand Admiral Thrawn is definitely a top 10 villain, possibly a top 5 villain in the Star Wars galaxy. And in this show, he was an idiot. Star Wars, Lucasfilm, Disney, they have a real problem. Their adolescent, immature style of writing prevents intelligent, frightening villains. Thrawn was foolish, claiming victory and never actually gaining victory. If running away from 3 Jedi with a Star Destroyer and a full complement of stormtroopers and TIE fighters is a victory, yeah, then I guess I don't understand the IP. What was Thrawn doing for 10 years if not tracking down and killing Ezra? At the beginning, we're led to believe his numbers have dwindled. The implication being there's something out there in the wild, there's something happening on this planet that's preventing him from getting to Ezra and killing his men, and that his situation is dire. The damaged Star Destroyer, the strange armor worn by the stormtroopers. But in the end, that's not the case. None of those things are true. He has thousands of troops, hundreds of TIE fighters. He just doesn't know how to use them.
Yeah, and if that's the case, how did Ezra get off the ship? This is the thing that again made me so angry about the end of this show. He takes Balin's shuttlecraft, dressed as one of these whatever troopers, the Night Sister Death Walker troopers, right? He hides in the stormtrooper outfit. He gets in this thing and steals it, and he's able to leave a Star Destroyer. First of all, he's able to hide on it long enough for them to make the journey. Then when they come out of hyperspace, they're just, I don't know what, gonna let them fly off. They used to have tractor beams on Star Destroyers. Maybe his is broken. Okay. Not trying to do the writing for the dudes, but really he's just gonna get away. No pursuit. But it's all brushed off. It's like, oh look, it's Ezra and Hera. And Hera's
Yeah.
still being awkward and weird. You could have taken half the crap in the first 3 episodes of all the ladies staring at each other, cut it out, taken those saved minutes, and maybe put in a decent escape scene. Make it a running battle off the ship, right? Make Ezra have to chop and slice and hack and whatever. Maybe he has some good dialogue with Thrawn. Maybe they will back and forth before he gets, But no. Somehow Ezra's returned.
They wanted the emotional scene. And at some points in the series, they wanted a visual. And they didn't care how they got what they wanted. There are many, many examples of this writing in the finale. 3 Jedi fighting the zombie troopers, but they had fought their way across a large room of stormtroopers who, like the Kenobi series, were willing to be sliced down. Okay, why they're closing quarters with Jedi, it's beyond me. And then once they've all been cut down and Ahsoka, Sabine, and Ezra move to the far side of the room, then the troopers are reanimated. But at that point, they don't matter because Ahsoka, Sabine, and Ezra are trying to get out of the room, and they now have full access to the stairwell where they are headed, and yet they choose to turn around and fight the zombie troopers for a while to give us a visual. Right? We're fighting zombie stormtroopers. Oh, how cool. Ezra needs to be rescued again. Predictable. And then they use blast doors, which should have been closed by Thrawn, to prevent them, or at least slow them from climbing the tower. So they wanted the fight against the zombie troopers. And it's small tweaks. It's just a little bit of thought in the writing, and you can still have that. You can still get your visual, you get the same result, but it makes sense in the context of the story. Later, when you have 2 zombie death troopers, so reverse it. Why are the Jedi closing the space to fight up close? They have the Force. Ezra's used Force push about 1,000 times, but no, we're going to fight melee style. Okay, well, we've got to have this fight against the Death Troopers. Well, then have it in the hallway with the Death Troopers blocking their advance. So then close quarters are necessary. It can't happen any other way because they're in the way. Just with a little bit of thought, you can have your cake and eat it too. The writing, the attention to detail, it's so poor. I could go on, but we're straying away from Grand Admiral Thrawn. They wanted certain things from Thrawn. They wanted Thrawn to say that he'd won approximately 18 times. They wanted him to be walking through a legion of stormtroopers. They wanted him standing in a hangar as TIE fighters took off to either side of him. They wanted him standing at a tactical display. But they just didn't put any thought into what would be happening and why he would be doing these things. Last thought, again, I've taken us off course, but 2 TIE fighters, really? Really? When we can see racks of TIE fighters behind you. And if you're a Star Wars fan, you're familiar with Star Destroyers and the Empire, you know that they have hundreds of TIE fighters on board. He has resources, all of his resources. He just doesn't know how to use them. And then he's claiming that he won.
You are correct. The tactical aspects in this episode don't make any sense based on what we've seen versus what we were told. And like you say, with just a few tweaks in the writing, could have made a lot more sense. We see Rax TIE fighters in the ship. Thrawn mentions that he's low on resources, but he doesn't tell you what those resources are. If Morgan shows up with Balin and Shin, and Thrawn is like, I am really glad you guys showed up. Like, your timing is amazing because we got problems on this planet. And he explains to you whatever the thing is, right? Whatever the thing out there is. And you could very much use that as illustrating with the character of Balin, like why he's here, what is calling him. He's like, this is the clue I've been looking for, or whatever. And maybe he says, when we got here, the ship was damaged from the whales grabbing it and tearing it through space. We got it working as best we could, and then we got attacked by the whatever, right? And I lost a significant portion of my crew, and we barely were able to fight it off. And then we discovered these Night Sisters, and we cut a deal, and now here we are. We're hanging on. And so I made a deal with these ladies. So now that you're all here to get me, here's what we got to do. We got to move the stuff from the thing into the ship, and then we got to get out of here. But we also got to make sure that we stop the Jedi from stopping us from leaving. And we also got to watch our six because the evil thing over the next hill is going to come back. That shows me that Thrawn is A, fully aware of the situation, B, has a reason now to be stingy with his resources because he's lost a lot. And now he only has a little bit left. And because he is the honorable villain that we know him to be, he's made a deal with the Night Sisters. He's going to keep it. So he's got to reserve a portion of his personnel to move the caskets, right? Maybe he doesn't have enough pilots. Yeah, I got all these damn TIE fighters, but half my pilots are dead. Whatever. These are things that over 8 episodes, through small conversations between characters, maybe an exposition here or there, or possibly a flashback, you can explain all this stuff away, and Thrawn doesn't look like a complete idiot, or the choices that he makes in the moment make a lot more sense. But like you say, based on what we see and hear, he's like, I don't have any resources. You're like, you got a Star Destroyer, 1,000 stormtroopers, and 100 TIE fighters, and you send out 10 people and 2 dropships to fight 3 Jedi. Explain to me why you're keeping so many people in reserve. You know what would have been great is if Thrawn gave a little speech there where he's talking about, I'm Grand Admiral Thrawn, Lord King, warrior of the Empire, right hand of the Emperor, and all stuff, and like I have victories over the, and list off your resume, right? Now have him say, I didn't know what fear was until I landed on this planet. That's some heavy stuff, right? Thrawn's out kicking and taking names all across the galaxy, and the only reason why he doesn't win the war against the rebellion is because the damn space whales and Ezra Bridger. And then have Balin Skull go, tell me more about this. Because I've been hearing a voice from across the galaxy. Oh, is it the same thing, brother? Now we're putting some pieces together. You still don't have to show it, right? Save it for season 2, whatever. Or maybe make the last scene of the last episode showing the catacomb where it's hiding, or the cave that it lives in, or the, whatever, the castle on the hill, whatever. That little tweak of foreshadowing, that little ooh, and here's your cliffhanger, right? But we didn't get any of that again. We just made Thrawn look dumb. He's like, I'll send one stormtrooper to fight a legion of crab people in a trailer park with 3 Jedi. And I'll leave these other 900 to stand here next to me and look awesome. Like none of it makes any sense. I am not a general. I don't play one on TV. I know his tactics are stupid. And he's supposed to be a Grand Admiral and the greatest military mind in the known galaxy, and maybe 2 other galaxies that we're not even aware of yet. And he's just silly, just dumb. And then, like you say, you throw in the physical representation of him. He is not intimidating in any way. He's not regal. He's not menacing. He just looked like Elon Musk in the Blue Man Group.
You needed a younger actor playing older as opposed to an older actor playing older. There's a physicality to Thrawn. He's intimidating. When when Lars Mikkelsen came off the Star Destroyer, I'm sorry.
Yeah, apparently the limited resources includes the gym on the Star Destroyer.
Right,
Yeah.
but not the buffet.
But not yes. The food processes are working perfectly. The gym, however, was damaged in the trip. Yes.
Right. I'll be criticized. I'll be accused of cruelty and insensitivity. I'm sorry. fictional galaxy. So we're talking about casting here. If we're casting Michael Jordan in a film, don't pick me to play the role. I'm sorry, I'm not. No offense to Lars Mikkelsen, but he's not Thrawn. And that is what we're pointing out.
Yeah, again, this is another one where we could have used his voice, no problem,
Mhm.
right? Because another great thing about Thrawn is that he doesn't. Well, great thing. Another interesting aspect of Thrawn is that he is a the thing that makes him so menacing and intimidating and so effective is that he's not verbose. He is a thinker. He's an observer. He analyzes you. He analyzes your tactics. He analyzes your culture. Makes all these calculations in his head, but he doesn't talk a lot because he's paying attention to stuff. And so when he speaks, it's important, but he's also uses an economy of words. Uh, and so you can get away with dubbing him with Mickelsen's voice, so he's consistent with the cartoon. But yeah, find somebody that looks more like the character. There's, like you said, there's so many choices that were made there that if any one of them was done incorrectly would have broken the illusion of Thrawn, but they were all done incorrectly. So we got Wish Thrawn again.
Galactic Initiative is not authorized or endorsed by Lucasfilm Limited. The name Star Wars and all related materials are registered trademarks of Lucasfilm Limited, a subsidiary of the Walt Disney Company, Flight Rights Reserved. Galactic Initiative is a registered trademark, and other product and company names are trademarks of their respective holders. Use does not imply affiliation or endorsement.